Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer, and today we'll be taking a look at our Saris Bones EX 2-bike trunk rack right here at etrailer.com. So you want to carry your bikes around from point A to point B, like you want to go hit the trails, and what you would need then is a bike rack. Now my first recommendation each and every time is to get a hitch-mounted bike rack, just because you get more stability and it's easier to use that way. But sometimes I understand that cannot be the case. Sometimes you may have a vehicle that cannot have a hitch, or you don't know how to put a hitch on there, or you just can't find a hitch that fits. Whenever that happens, that's where trunk-mounted bike racks like this come in handy. So if you are going to get a trunk-mounted bike rack, this might be a really good option for you just because of the way it can fit most of your different types of vehicles. So this is the Saris Bones EX2. So what that means is, one, it's a 2-bike bike rack, and this is the EX. So it goes up and it's a level up from the previous Saris Bones edition. So the previous version had a rounded leg, which was great, but this one has a dog leg. So then you can fit more vehicles, even if you have spoilers, kind of like what we have here, you can still carry your bikes with you. So you can get the Bones EX in a 2-bike or a 3-bike version. So if you're planning on bringing a friend along with you, maybe go ahead and get the 3-bike version straight off the bat. But if you're just planning on taking 1 or 2 bikes around, this will still work just as great. Now, to compare it with other bike racks, some similar bike racks would be the Yakima Fullback. You would also get a pretty good compatibility score with that one. It fits a lot of your vehicles. Still not as much as the Saris Bones EX though, but the Yakima Fullback has your straps, has your locks integrated. So that's great because then you don't have to get them extra like what you would have with here. Another more premium trunk-mounted bike rack would be the Thule Outway. That has a very interesting style of ratcheting down its straps, allowing you to open up the trunk or the hatch on some of your vehicles. The downside for that is it really does not fit a lot of vehicles. So if you're looking for something that can fit most of your vehicles in your garage, whether you have a hatchback, whether you have spoilers, whether you have a sedan like this, the Saris Bones EX 2 or 3 would be my go-to for that. So this is what it's going to look like if you have the Saris Bones on a vehicle with a hatch. So it works the same way, but notice how we have the feet in different places. We switched around the arms to fit around the license plates. Again, please follow the specific fit guide for your specific vehicle. Another thing I would recommend adding on to your trunk rack are the hatch huggers. So they're going to replace the upper straps and hooks, and then they will go into your hatch and just provide a little bit more stability, a little bit more tension without weighing down your top spoiler. So this has a weight capacity of 35 pounds per bike. Another pro tip I recommend is, if you do have a heavier bike, whether it be the 35-pound bike and your other one is a 20-pound bike, put the heaviest bike closest to your vehicle and the lighter bike on the end. Some other things I recommend adding on is going to be the Saris wheel and tire straps. So those are straps that would go around your bike's front wheel and then around the frame, just to cinch it all together and just help prevent sway of your front wheels. Another thing you can add on to this system is a lock. So this does not have an integrated cable lock. You would actually have to add one. So you can use your own cable locks if you want, perfectly fine. You can also find cable locks right here at eTrailer. A good one would be the Saris Cable Lock and Lock Loop, because that would go around your bikes, but also into your trunk or your hatch or whatever vehicle you have this mounted to. So now let's take the bikes off so that we can take a closer look at the bike rack itself. To take the bikes off, notice how we just have to put our fingers on the lever right over here. And what I like to do is just tuck that strap all the way back. That's also a helpful position for when you want to put the bike back on. So do 1, 2, and 3 straps in order to take your bike off. So holding up your bikes are these injection molded plastic arms. So they are really thick and sturdy plastic. They're very durable, and what's really good too is that they're rust proof. If you do have this outside, you have the sun, you have the rain, and this is a nice material for a trunk mounted bike rack. Now here are the cradles, and I personally really like the design. I like how we have these little grips on the inside for your frame. They're made of rubber, so then you got that nice grippy material, but also nothing that's gonna scratch or scuff your bike's frame. The way they tighten down too is pretty cool because you just pull this and you got a nice good fit. Making contact with your vehicle are these articulated rubber feet, so they can pivot a little bit depending on the shape or the frame of your vehicle. And then you also have these vinyl coated hooks. Since these are hooking into your trunk or your hatch, it's nice that you have that coating again to help prevent those extra scuffs and scratches. Now you do have 6 cam buckle straps as well as this cool little end cap. What this is hiding is a way to hide your excess straps. Definitely a new feature from Saris, which I really like because with other bike racks, I have to use rubber bands and then really just strap up all those straps and tighten them down. Now these are metal cam buckles. I personally wish that they had a cam buckle protector or a sleeve around them, but if you do have this tightened properly onto your vehicle, they really should not be making any contact with your vehicle anyways, so it should be good. Still a little extra feature I've seen that I prefer. Now, speaking of tightening down these straps to your vehicle, let's take a look at the general install process. Now, with any trunk mounted bike rack, what you have to do first is just make sure that all your contact points are clean. So I'm just using some soapy water here and a rag just to wipe off where those feet are going to sit on top of our hood as well as to the side of our trunk. So depending on your vehicle, you're going to have different mounting points. So for here on the sedan, we're going to have it right over here on top of the bumper, and then the upper arms are going to be behind the spoiler. This is going to be different for your hatchbacks too. My recommendation is just to check out the Saris Fit Guide, where they usually give a recommendation for where to put it. Or if we have a test fit video, that one's even better. So I'll show you how to adjust the legs now. So this is going to be a little bit more involved than some of your other trunk racks just because of the way this adjusts. So you have to loosen this knob on top of the leg, and that will allow you to slide in towards the center. Once it's in the center, it's now free spinning, so you just need to rotate it to kind of where you need it to go, and then to lock it in place, you just slide it back into those grooves. So I already adjusted my feet just to fit my sedan here. So once everything's locked into place, don't forget to tighten down those knobs. Once you do have it in those grooves, you can now gently place it onto your vehicle. So we have your different hooks, and these are going to be on the side of your trunk rack. So make sure to follow the words you can see on the hooks. Like this one says lower and this one says side. So the fit guide for your specific vehicle as well as our test fits will help you figure out where your hooks need to go. Usually it's just upper, side, and then lower, but sometimes if you do have a vehicle with a hatch, you may need to use these Saris hatch huggers instead and replace your upper straps. So make sure to check out that information before you install it on your specific vehicle. So you may need a friend to help you out as you tighten everything down, just so that they can support the bike rack as you run the different straps. In our case here, we actually had to open up the trunk just to get enough clearance for some of our hooks and then close it with the hooks in place. So that's something to keep in mind depending on your different vehicles. So make sure to tighten down all 6 straps, and then they pull on each other on each side though, so you're gonna have to make sure that everything is well tensioned. And once everything's tightened down, you can then tuck your excess strap right into the bike rack itself. Once all the other excess straps are inside that tube, you're then gonna run your other cap and just pop that onto the end of your bike rack. So with all the excess straps tucked away, all the end caps back on, just make sure to triple check the knobs on the bike rack itself as well as your straps. Everything looks good, everything looks secure, you're ready to put your bikes on. So we took a look at the bike rack itself. Now I put the bikes back on so that we can see the bike rack in action on our test course. Here on our test course, we'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action, which simulates turning corners or evasive maneuvers. Once we get to the alternating speed bumps, we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or a pothole or driving over uneven pavement. Now lastly, we're going over some full speed bumps, and we can see here the up and down action. And this will just be like driving in and out of a parking lot, garage, or driveway. So you saw it out on the test course. You definitely saw some sway over there, especially with our front wheels when we would go over those speed bumps. Right there is when I would recommend getting these Saris wheel straps, which will just help cinch that down and help prevent that sway. But all in all, with everything tightened down, I saw that the bike rack really held together on top of our trunk and stayed stable, which is really all I ask of it. So my personal thoughts about this bike rack is it does take a little bit of time and a little bit of effort just to get it to its full potential. You may really want to consider getting like those wheel straps as well as those locks. Some of that sway out on the test course was a little bit concerning if you don't have the wheel straps on, so definitely something worth considering. Now, be very careful as well as you attach this to your vehicle because there are different contact points and you have to make sure that everything is completely cinched down. If not, it is possible for the bike rack to possibly lift up off of your vehicle and or extra sway that you do not want happening on the road. So all in all, if you do follow the instructions for your specific vehicle, if you are careful with cinching it down, it is definitely going to work out with helping you transport your bikes from one place to another. And that was a look right here at our Saris Bones EX 2-bike trunk rack right here at etrailer.com. My name is Evangeline and I hope you enjoyed the journey.